Welcome back to the IBJJF Podcast. Today we are going to preview the 2023 Pan Jiu-Jitsu Championships. They start this coming Wednesday, March 22nd, and run through Sunday, the 26th. You can watch all the action live on Flow Grappling. I got Samir Chantre with me, our resident expert. Samir, thanks for being here.
Thank you. Of course. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, we start pretty much all these podcasts talking about how stacked all these events are. And I think as jiu-jitsu grows and becomes more professional, we're just seeing so many elite black belts sign up for these tournaments. So I thought we'd start talking about two athletes that are going to definitely be going for the Grand Slam this year. We'll start with Tynan Dalpra. He's coming off a European title where he looked incredible, 3 fights, 3 submissions. He also is coming off the super fight win over Isaac Bayen's, put on a very dominant performance, looked incredible in that event. And I think this middleweight division is going to be pretty interesting because he's got a few potential opponents in it that he hasn't faced before. I think Rolando Sampson is going to be one that Tynan definitely hasn't faced before. That could be a great challenge. He's also got Jonathan Satava and Felipe Cesar Silva. So let's just start out talking about Tynan and what you think about, what you thought about his performances in 2023 leading into the Pans.
Flawless. I believe that's the word to say. Tynan has been complete dominant in the past few years. I don't think he's stopping there. I don't think he's stopping here. His jiu-jitsu has been more and more flawless. Like, you don't see holes in his game. He's everything is super tight. Everything is super coordinated, and his movement seems like he has a plan and he follows that exactly, perfectly each match. So he's not making mistakes in his strategies. He's not making mistakes in techniques. He's athleticism and his conditioning. So I just feel like anyone to catch up to him right now, it's gonna have to work extra hard. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I did mention those 3 middleweights that Tynan has yet to face at black belt. I think Rolando Sampson could provide a really interesting challenge. He just won the LA Open, had some great fights, beat Jonata Alves in the final. It was a close match, but Jonata, of course, is world-class, 3-time Pan champion. What do you think about a potential matchup between Tynan and Rolando?
I think it's gonna be amazing. Rolando is super talented. He's a kid that I personally been following since he was color belts in the kids division. Makes me feel old, but but the kid is super talented. Has a very, very interesting game. Does not hold anything back, and it goes for it. He goes for it. So I do not think he will be. I don't want to say scared, but I don't think he will be holding anything back and trying to stall or trying to be conservative. That's the word. I don't think he's going to be conservative facing Tynan. I think he's going to go for the broke. I think he's going to go to win. And that always brings us, spectators, a treat, So
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a great match. I look forward to it. I still think Tynan is on a different level right now. But having somebody like Rolando in that division that, like I said, it does not play safe, that goes at it. I think that's gonna put a little spice in that division. That when we look at it, we always like, hey, Tynan's on a different level. But now having Rolando there, having a dangerous Felipe Cesar there, the kid's danger, man. Like that's a good word for him. Great jiu-jitsu, but he's dangerous. If you leave anything hanging, he's there. So it's gonna be a great division. It's gonna be a great division. Some interesting names. Small division, only 14 competitors. Jonas Satava is also he's a great some great submissions, super technical. His guard is great. It's gonna be interesting, and I love to see that matchup between Tynan and Rolando.
Yeah, I think another interesting thing to note is just that we've seen Tynan compete so much now at black belt. There's techniques that you definitely see him use frequently throughout tournaments. You see him use the X guard, the back attacks, the long step, some of the leg trap techniques from the guard passing. But I think even though you can see those trends in his game, he's still always bringing a new level and always evolving every time he competes.
No, absolutely, absolutely. And that one thing that you can see, or what he's really good on everything, yes. But one thing that I feel that stands out are his transitions. You
Yeah.
know, usually, and this is one thing that I preach to my students too. Like always, when somebody's doing a transition, you can try to capitalize on those because those are the moments that the person change grips. Those are the moments that person opens a little space and all that. But Thailand, he does not give space. He does not gives you time to react when he's doing transitions. Everything is just so flawless. Everything is just so tight. Everything is just so connected. You know that it just makes really hard for everyone. And we saw that in the last super fight. Like somebody how look at like Isaac. I don't even need to say how good he is and how accomplished he is. And he had no chance against Tynan there. Tynan really put a complete dominant performance there, which it's even a little scary to think about, because Isaac is a beast, man.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen anyone doing something like that with Isaac. So it just shows how flawless he's been.
Yeah, so speaking of flawless competitors who put on flawless performances, we got to talk about Gabriella Passagna. She won her 6th straight double gold at a major tournament, the Europeans. She'll be going for her 7th straight at a major tournament. It's kind of ridiculous to even say that, how crazy of an accomplishment that is. But what are your thoughts on Gabriella, what we've seen from her? I think at Europeans, it's safe to say that she was prioritizing the submission more. She submitted Elizabeth Clay, Maria Maliacek, and Talita Silva in the open class, which was extremely impressive. But what did you think about her Europeans performance, and how do you think she'll parlay that success into the Pan Ams?
Yeah, she's another competitor that I. It's just she has been super dominant. She has been in a different level. I I truly believe that she is another level right now, and that she again to take away her throne, it's gonna be a hard task. It's gonna be a hard task for the girls. She has been really good on top, really good on bottom. She goes at it. It just seems like from outside, it just seems like she does not change much her strategy when it comes to a different competitor. She goes, she puts her game, she puts her game, like her A game, goes at it. Really good on top, really good on bottom. Great athleticism for how big she is. Like she's a big girl and super athletic, super good. Doesn't I don't. She starts and finish a match the same way, which is very impressive. Taking consideration also uh, how many fights she does per tournament.
Yeah.
So she competes her weight, she competes the open class, and it does seem like it's her first match every time. You know, so it's a great work from her team too. And yeah, I truly think she's gonna go at this tournament the same way that she went for Europeans. Uh, and it's gonna be hard to take that second consecutive Grand Slam from her. And whoever grows able to do that, man, it takes a special breed to take that away from her.
Her last loss in competition was the 2021 Pans Open Class semifinal. She lost to Anna Vieira. Anna is signed up for the medium heavy division. I think we can expect to see her in the open class as well, just based on the fact that she competed in it last time she did the Pan. So, what do you think about a potential rematch between Anna Vieira and Gabriella Passagna?
I really hope that happens. I really hope that happens. Anna, I always say the same thing about her. Anna, she is her game is so uh, she's everything she does is so tight. Everything she does is like really conservative, not making mistakes, and play a very tight game, and I think that was a conflict of styles with Gabi. That's somebody that likes to go and go and go and go. So if Gabi doesn't find her way and starts exposing herself too much and maybe making mistake, Anna is very good on capitalizing those mistakes.
Yeah.
Anna is very good on capitalizing those mistakes, and all of a sudden she advanced, and you can't retrieve anymore. Anna is super tight. All moves that she does is super tight. So if she gets a position, retrieving from that, it should be a nightmare for the girl. So um, I believe it's a matchup I want to see again. It's a matchup I want to see again. I do believe Gabriella, being so young, she improved so much since then, and she has been competing more momentum than Anna Vieira. And Vieira kind of only do more like the major ones a couple times a year, 3 times a year. So it'll be an interesting matchup. I really hope that plays out, and we'll be watching.
In last year's open class, Gabrielle faced Melissa Stricker. I believe it was the semifinal, and that match actually went to ref's decision. They both swept each other, and obviously a very close match, being tied up on the scoreboard like that. What do you think about Melissa? And she's been pretty active too. Do you think she poses
Yeah.
a significant threat to Gabrielle as well?
No, absolutely. Melissa's a beast, man. Melissa's a beast. Melissa's a beast. She did really good at the GP2. She Melissa is really, really, really good. She's definitely a threat. She's a world champion. She's a threat to all these girls for sure. Uh, I do think Gabriella, it's just on another level right now. But like I said, those we are talking about two world champions here. We're talking about Melissa. We're talking about Anna Vera. It takes a different breed to win IBJJF World Championship.
Yeah.
So they all have what it takes to be a threat to anyone. So I would never say, hey, this game is already won. There are some really tough girls there. I just feel that Gabriella, for her past results does not guarantee a future result, right? But she's in a great momentum right now, especially coming off of that win at Europeans, showing complete dominance.
Definitely. So let's move on to some competitors who are returning to the pans, some of whom haven't competed since the 2022 Worlds. First, we'll start with Nicholas Marigale. He's registered in the ultra heavy division. He was the 2022 Open Class World Champion. Extremely accomplished competitor, extremely technical, always going for the submission. In ultra heavy, he's got guys like Guilherme Augusto, Yatam Bueno from Dream Art, Roosevelt Souza, Pedro Bisneto, Jan Paiva. Pretty tough division. How excited were you to see Nicholas Marigale signed up for the Pans?
Super excited. Nicholas is a beast. Last year Worlds, he did show a lot of changes, and I would say not only on improving his game, but also his psychological aspect of the competition. I did see a different Nicholas Marigale, and it seemed like it worked out really well for him. Winning the open class and being an open class world champion. Nicholas is amazing. Since lower belts, has been always in the top, winning. He's from top to bottom. I remember saying that. For in our podcast at Worlds last year, how everyone talks about his bottom game and his guard and his lip chokes and all. But for me, his top game is just different. His top game, he's high, his long limbs, his balance, how he's always passed to hip. It's just like I watch Marigale's top game and I just see that like his outside passings too, like, but he's not much of a takedown guy. So he pulls guard, but once he sweeps, it's just he gets to the half guard. You see that his half guard is never behind the hips; he's always above the hips. that already creates a different uh, it's just harder. It's just harder for the opponents when you're past the hip there. He's so long.
Yeah.
Man, that that guy's just like that's the thing. Like what you want to do with Nicholas? You want to stay on top or want to stay on bottom? You know, like everywhere you are, like
Yeah. Pick your poison.
he's pretty much. You know, like so I'm excited to see him back. It's always exciting to see Nicholas competing. I would love watching that guy. So especially with the gi. So seeing him last time at Worlds was a treat for us. Weight and open class, he fought really well, and then seeing him at Pants it's gonna be a treat for us for sure.
So I think we got to talk about Eric Muniz as well. He's returning for the first time to IBJ. Well, he actually competed at the Curitiba Open this past weekend, but that was
Yeah,
his first tournament back since the 2022 Worlds. Pans will be his first major tournament back since the 2022 Worlds. Eric did beat Nicholas in the weight class final at the Worlds last year, ended up losing in the open class final. And Eric looked incredible in Curitiba, 2 fights, 2 submissions. He talked about wanting to work on his top game and his passing, really used that tremendously this past weekend. What do you think about Eric coming back for the Pans, and how excited would you be to see Eric fight Nicholas again this year?
sure. It's gonna be awesome. That'll be awesome, and that's the fight that I'm looking for. And if I could guess, that's gonna be the finals. That's gonna be the finals of the open class. Uh, Man, Eric's a beast. Eric's, in my opinion, is a phenom. Been watching him since purple belt. Eric's a phenom. His game is great. His guard is amazing. His single leg X is just incredible. Me myself, I like his game a lot. I watch his game a lot. It's a guard that I like to study a lot. He's definitely one of the guys that I look up. So I'm definitely excited to see him competing, which is always a treat, and even more excited when I see him and Nicolas Marigale in the same tournament being a potential matchup. You know, I do think this year it might be a more open fight. I think, yeah, and especially they are not in the same division. You know, so they're in the same. They're not in the same division, correct? Yes.
Yeah.
So Eric
Eric's at super heavy,
is
Nicholas is
super
at
heavy,
ultra.
yes.
Yeah.
So they're not in the same division. So I do hope to see that matchup in the finals of the open class. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, can't wait for that one. Another 2022 world champion who's returning to the Pans is Fiona Davis. Fion's going to be competing in the lightweight division. We all know how good Fiona is, one of the best top games, great takedowns. She's got girls like Luisa Montero, who won the 2023 Europeans. She also got Jenaina Lebre, Emily Fernandez, who's been doing great in some of the open tournaments. What's your take on Fion returning to this event, and which of those names that I just went through would you be most excited to see her compete against?
Yeah, Luisa is somebody that I've been following for years. I met Luisa; she was 4 year old, 5 year old. We were 5 year olds, 5 years old. So I watch Luisa. She won worlds multiple times. She's a beast. She's amazing. Uh,
She does have a submission
what?
win over Fion as well at the 2019 Europeans.
Yes, yes. Watching her competing against anyone is always a treat. You know. Uh, so she has a very submission oriented game,
Yeah.
and I like that. I like that very much. Uh, so a lot of back submissions, a lot of foot locks, knee bars. I just love watching her competing. Man, Janaina, she is on fire.
Absolutely.
Janaina is on fire, man. Like so, I think these three ladies, I think they're gonna make the division very interesting. I do want to see. Uh, I do want to. I want to see Louisa with Fionn, but I do want to see Fionn with Janaina very much. I'm looking forward to that match.
Yeah, that was such an incredible final last year at the Worlds where Janine almost got that knee bar. It looked so tight. Fiona even said after
Yes.
the event that it was very tight. She was maybe she wasn't close to tapping, but she definitely felt the pressure from the knee bar.
And that I think was the first tournament as a black belt that Janaína kind of stand out, you know. And then after that we saw the GP, and then was a super fighter too. So we just see the improvement of her game,
Yeah.
you know. So I think might be a different Janaína this time. Of course, Fionn has always been improving her game as well. So this potential matchup is going to be very interesting, though. Like I look forward for it. I look forward to it for sure.
Let's get into some of the divisions. We've got some incredible divisions. I think we have to start with medium heavy. It's the biggest division in terms of number of competitors. I believe there's 31 competitors in it. We've got world champion Gustavo Batista. We've got Anderson Ferreira, new black belt, who won the London Open and beat Jansen Gomez in the final. We've got Jansen, who's the 2023 European champion. We've got Ronaldo Jr. We've got Mauricio Oliveira, who just returned for the first time after a year off in Curitiba, and he won his division. Looked very good. We've got Murillo Santana, Sebastian Rodriguez, Francisco Lowe. I could go on. I could probably just name everyone in the division, and that would
Yeah,
be
yeah.
more fair. But what's your take on medium heavy? How do you see this division playing out?
Um, Man, I look forward to this division. This division is amazing. Some beasts in the division, as you just mentioned. Some very interesting possible matchups. Um and Ronaldo is spicing up that division now. And I've stated here many times how I'm a big fan of his game. I'm a big fan of his jiu-jitsu. Some really, really good games. Wonderful, man. Like that kid is special for
Yeah.
sure. Uh, yeah, we got some really good names here. Murillo, Sebastian, that won Pans, I think 2020. Some really interesting divisions here. I'm sorry, some really interesting possible matchups here. But I will give. I think Gustavo Batista. I think it's he's the number one in that division, in my opinion. I think he's the guy to be. He's the guy to be beaten in that division. Big fan of his game. His passing game is just amazing. How
Yeah.
it's just he's yeah. If I can pick one name here, Gustavo Batista is the one.
Are there any matchups that you want to see? I think one that comes to my mind is Ronaldo Jr. and Anderson Ferreira. I think they have a pretty similar games. Anderson got
Just
double gold.
imagine.
Yeah, that could be a ridiculous matchup. Kind of reminds me a bit of Ronaldo and Francisco Lowe that we saw at the GP. Both athletes are super explosive, great takedowns, great submission skills. That was a matchup that came to mind for me. Do you want to comment on that? And then if there's any other matchups that you think would be great, you can
Oh
mention
no,
those
I
too.
think I think I think that match. I think that match can be really really interesting. Both have similar styles as you mentioned. I think it's gonna be a war. Both of them try and take down in the beginning there, but I think Ronaldo ends up pulling guard, working on single leg X there, and it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be fireworks for sure. Love to see that match. As much as man, like Francisco Lo is back. Francisco Lo is has a potential fight with these two, and I would love to see Francisco Lo with one of them too. Uh, yeah, and honestly, one thing that I would like to see too, I would love to see Gustavo Batista against Wanderson.
Yeah,
That'll be a potential matchup because
clash of
uh,
styles.
exactly, exactly. Since Ronaldo and him are the same team, I can match them up. I don't know how much of like they train together,
Yeah.
so even if they go at it, they just train together, they know their game, it just a lot of times when you train together, even if you go at it, you already know, so it's kind of the game doesn't go as much as if it's first, second, third time fighting, you
Yep.
just get used to the positions, you just get used to the position, the style of your partners. So since Wonder side a similar style of Ronaldo, I think watching Gustavo Batista against Weiner, so I think this would be my favorite game, my favorite match of this division. If I could pick one, I think that'll be the one. That'll be the one for me.
Yeah, I really
Yeah,
hope that
that'll be the one
happens.
for me.
That would
Yeah,
be
me
incredible.
too. Me too. Me too. Or maybe Francisco Lo against Gustavo Batista. That'll be an interesting one too. That'll be an interesting one too. Yeah, I do want. I do want the crash of styles though. I do want to see that. I do want to see that guy that really speed up the game. Against Gustavo Batista to see if they're gonna be able to accelerate the game on Gustavo, or Gustavo is gonna slow them down and really put him on his game. You know. So I look forward to it. I really look forward to it.
Another division that always has a lot of different clashes of styles is featherweight. So this year we got Fabricio Andre. He's obviously a 2021 world champion, 2023 European champion. We got Marcio Andre in there. We've got Sam Nagai, the Sodre brothers. Alex won the division last year at the Pans 2022. And this featherweight's always a very dynamic division. Everyone has a very well-rounded skill set. Let me get your thoughts on the featherweight division 2023 Pans.
Uh, this division is very open. I'll say that Fabricio Andre is the only world champion in the division. Yes,
Yeah.
and man, he's amazing. His game is amazing. But I would say that we have guys here in the division that can definitely that can definitely be number one in this division, because we're talking about here Diego Sodré, which was European champion last year, runner-up world champion last year, runner-up Pens last year, and then we have Alex Sodré, his brother, who won Pen last year, and then we have Marson Andre, always a top contender in any division he gets in. And then we have um, Sabona guy that actually beat Fabricio last year at Worlds, which, in my opinion, and I said that last year, was the best match at Worlds. That match, guys, if you're watching this, if you haven't watched that match, do yourself a favor and look it up. It was super technical. It was super fast paced. Like, it was an amazing match. It was an amazing match.
Yeah, incredible.
Two of the best featherweights right now, for sure. And yeah, so we have just so many guys that we do have Thiago Macedo also that won Pan Am's 2020. Richard, that I think he was third place last year. Uh, Man, with an incredible match against Diego Sodré, if I'm not mistaken. Super close match. Man, the division is so open, so many good names, so many good potential matchups here. And we have Israel, who is a beast too. Man, that kid too. It's just so many matches, so many good guys, so many matchups that it's very hard. I'll say that this is one of the most stacked and open divisions right now. This is, like, in my opinion, one of the most stacked and open divisions right now.
Yeah, we saw
So many good
Fabricio
guys
and
in it.
exactly. We saw Fabricio and Alex make to the final Europeans. They had a very close match. Both had great runs to the final, but I think that's a potential final we could see again.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's definitely two of the best in the division. Alex won last year Pan, so he's a current Pan champion. Uh, definitely can be a matchup. But one interesting thing is, if that's the possible matchup, Fabrizio has to beat Diego,
Yes.
like potentially beat Diego to get there. Like, I've had experience before many times where I had to beat. I had always, like, the Meow brothers in my division, his brothers in my division. So look at the division, it's like, okay, I have to beat one and still have to beat the other. Like, even if you use one strategy to beat one, you still gotta, and then they know the strategy to beat the other. So it will require really good work to in that division, for anyone in the division having to beat both other brothers there.
Absolutely. Let's move on to another division. We'll talk about the male heavyweight division. Felipe Andrew won this division at the 2023 Europeans. He's got some tough competition in it at the 2023 Pans. He's got guys like Demetrius Souza, Gabriel Oliveira, Adam Wardzinski, Roberto Jimenez, Patrick Gaudio, Matias Luna, Andre Porfirio, Devontae Johnson, some other guys as well. What do you think about heavyweight?
Heavyweight, super stacked, super stacked. Okay, so I just said that featherweight was one of the most stacked and open division. There's this one here too.
Yeah.
But I think this one, no, for them, yeah. So I'll give Philip Andrew here as my pick for the division. But man, like just because a fan of the guy, like Philip Andrew, he's just super consistent, super consistent. The guy is man, his game is amazing too. His game is amazing. Philippe is a beast. He will have a lot of hard time here in this division to win a gold medal. Man, Adam Wojcicki is a beast. Dimitri Souza, I believe he won 2020 or no 2021 pans or 2022 pans. Then we have Roberto Jimenez, Devon Jones, like all these guys that man, like all these guys that are. Oh, Andre Porfirio, they also. I think he won 2020. I think Porfirio won 2020, and then Dimitri won 2021 or 2022. So we have multiple champions here in this division. Man, I do think Philip Angel right now is my favorite one in the division, but it's open. It's open when it comes to man Dimitri Felipe and Patrick coming back into competition. Just one Curitiba, right?
Yeah.
Man, Patrick's a beast. Patrick's a beast. I would love to see that matchup. I would love to see that matchup. Patrick Gaudio and Felipe Andro. If I could pick, I'll just put the first match. Just make sure I watch it.
Just to make sure it
first
happens.
Match, I'm here. Yes, exactly, and I'm here. Like for that first match, I'm here. I know when it's gonna happen. Right now, okay, sorry, I'm here. This is probably one of my favorite matchups, favorite potential matchups in the whole tournament.
Yeah, I love seeing Felipe drop down to heavyweight. He did that for the first time at a major tournament at the Pans, at the Europeans, the 2023 in Paris. Looked incredible, and I think he's kind of found a new home in that division, and he plans to go for the Grand Slam there. So it's going to be very interesting to see his second step on his path to the Grand Slam at the Pans.
Yeah, no, definitely, and like I said, he's gonna have some really tough matches here. But I look forward to it, man. I look forward to see him in that division. He's always a beast, man. His consistency is out of this world.
He's incredible. So before we head out of here, I want to get your open class predictions. For the female, I'm going to go with Gabrielle, and for the male, I'm going to go with Nicholas Marigale. I want to get your take on it before we wrap this up.
I have to agree with you for both of them. And I would say if there's a man to beat Nicholas Marigale, that man is called Eric Muniz.
Absolutely.
So I'll say one or the other there will take that. Open class.
Awesome.
And for the ladies, I'll have to agree with you on this one.
Yeah, that's a safe bet considering all the open class titles she's won recently.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Samir, for joining me. I always really appreciate your time. It means a lot to us to have your analysis and your expert opinion. So is there anything else you want to mention before we close out?
No, just thank you, guys. Look forward to this event. I'll be there, close and watching those matches. And I can't wait.
So the event starts on Wednesday, March 22nd, runs through Sunday, March 26th. It'll wrap up with the black belt finals. You can watch all the matches live on flowgrappling.com. Make sure you guys don't miss it, and we'll see you guys soon. Thanks.